Sometimes we forget why we're here. It's easy to fall off track. These help us remember.
These battle scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Growing up, I had a dream, something no one else could see. Tell me what it means when your faith is falling beneath your knees and you can't breathe. Everything you see reminds you of what you're not or something you won't be. You gotta take what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in the business. Not because they wanna do it, just because they heard it pays. And who the fuck wants to be poor knowing that's how we've been raised? Society is getting heavy, I can feel the weight. The pressure of success is like 100 million pounds of shame. And that's the reason I'm staying up late, trying to find a way to escape this. If you don't have a reason to breathe, why even live? These battle scars are impressions of everything that it is.
Welcome everybody to the C63 AMG, the very last production naturally aspirated V8 to come out of Mercedes-Benz and AMG. You know what, it's a sad time in the automotive world when I have to say something like that, but it is true. So, you know, we may as well enjoy the cars as they're still here and drivable and enjoyable in their kind of fresh form, because this still is a very new car. So let's go for a drive today and see what it's all about. Alright, so first things first, obviously you know the C63 is not a manual transmission. However, it does have a single clutch transmission with paddle shifters. So you have a bunch of driving modes to choose from. You've got Comfort, you've got Sport, you've got Sport Plus, and then you've got full manual, which is pretty much the only mode you should ever be in this car. And then as well, you have basically your traction setting, which can be set to either traction control completely on in sport mode, which actually allows a little bit of slip, or full off, which, I mean, you just slide the car around, do whatever you want, and in that mode you can also do launch control as well, which is a lot of fun. So basically, our friend Ulrich threw me the keys to this car, and I've been playing around with it for a little bit. So, not that you should really ever do this, but I'm driving around in comfort mode, right? And you know what? The car is actually, it's decent. I mean, the suspension is still pretty stiff. This is not a GT car, it is a sports coupe. It's based on the four-door C-Class chassis, and you can definitely feel that. The AMG is definitely a little bit stiffer, but at the same time, the car is boring when you want it to be boring, which is good. If you're, I mean, great car to daily. It's got everything you could possibly want. So, 6.2 liters V8 is extremely responsive, about 480 horsepower at the crank. This thing does not play around. It's a very fast car, but you know what? We drive a lot of big modified turbo cars on the channel. It's not scary fast. Here's the thing about the C63 AMG. It is just powerful enough, it's just stiff enough, it is just driver focused enough that it's exciting when you want it to be exciting. It's not exciting all the time. In fact, this car can be very boring when you're just kind of driving around town. But like I said, when you do start flicking the gears and operating the transmission and selecting the part of the rev band that you want to be in, it becomes a very different car, one that you can control in virtually all aspects. Yes, it does still have a bunch of computers and stuff, keeping you safe for the most part. Definitely its biggest strength is that 6.2 liter V8 under the hood. It is magnificent in every way. It revs to 7,200 RPM. It has torque everywhere, absolutely everywhere. You're never lacking power at all. yet it's still kind of quiet when you want it to be. So I would definitely consider this car a muscle car for sure. It's definitely a sports coupe, but the way that rear end steps out and the way the car sounds is, I mean, it's confidence inspiring for sure, but you gotta be really careful. So right now, I've only been driving the car for like a day. I've driven it a couple times before that as well, but you get nasty downshifts for sure. And right now, being in sport handling mode, like you saw back there, it definitely allows for some slip. You can get the back end out for like a second, you get a little bit of angle, and it'll just snap it right back. It feels really safe. If you want to feel like you're a badass driver, keep it in sport handling mode by all means. All right, so you look around in the C63 AMG. There's a lot to take in on the interior. Things I like, materials are great. You got your carbon fiber up here on the dash, looks awesome. You have your nav that's not like sticking out of the dash like, you know, Mazda's or the AMG GT, for instance. Personally, I don't like that. It looks really good and integrated in this car. The dash is really nicely laid out. You've got your tack, because it's not a manual, it's kind of small, laid out in the corner there. The one material though on the interior that really just doesn't do this car justice is the Alcantara on the steering wheel. Now, I would imagine when this car was new, it felt great and was really awesome. But now, you know what, after a few thousand kilometers of driving, it's not even Alcantara anymore. It's just not. It's not the material it once was. Sure, you could probably send your steering wheel or your car over to AMG and they will probably refresh the interior as you want, but that's just another thing that's kind of aiding the German stereotype of being good for the first few thousand kilometers and then just turning to shit. But other than that, this interior is a fantastic place to be. Tail's just all over the place there. This car will definitely put a smile on your face. Definitely, that's absolutely a fact. Now, in my opinion, if you've got to wrestle the car and if you've got to really focus on what you're doing and take control, to me that's a driver's car. As long as you're having fun, that is a driver's car, and the C63 is definitely that in some respects. So if we go from like 30 kilometers an hour and mat it, we've got pretty instant torque. You just keep going, and it'll kind of actually tell you when to shift. Then you got that wicked, well, first of all, you got wicked brakes, that's for sure. And then you've got the wicked sound that comes out of the back. It just cracks and pops right when you shift, upshifts and downshifts. It's a lot of fun. When you're in manual, it will hit the rev limiter and you'll hit fuel cut. And let me tell you something, that does not feel good. So you don't want to do that. So let me tell you guys a quick little story about how I actually fell in love with the C63. Now, this was about 4 years ago, back in 2011, when Grayson and I were in film school. And I was really late for an exam, and at that point I had a 93 Mazda B2200 with like 90 horsepower, my first car, and I was really late for the exam. So I parked it really quickly on the other side of campus because that was the only spot I could find parking, and I was running to class until a C63 AMG drove past me, and it wasn't even going fast, it was idling. And just the sound of that 6.2 liter V8 just basically idling, rolling past me. Now, I don't know if it had an aftermarket exhaust or anything. All I remember very distinctly is that it sounded so mean. And then I slowed down. I slowed right down, and I was just watching it. And then I kind of snapped back out of the trance, and then I went back to my class. But the rest of the day, I was just thinking, dang, like, what must that car be like to drive? So I'm so thankful that we're finally able to drive one. Now, at that point, I really didn't know much about the car. It was pretty much brand new at that point back in 2011. Great car, though. The sound of this car is something that you will not forget. You can approach the limit of grip very quickly and very easily in this car as well. Do not underestimate the ability of this car's back end to step out. It's got 255s on the back. Come on, 480 horsepower and 255s. Mercedes, you are playing with fire there for sure. So if you're in first gear and you mat it, the tires are just gonna, first gear rips itself right off. The tires are just spinning. Whoa, and you're going very quick in a short amount of time. Now, a lot of people will complain about this transmission, and I mean, their complaints do definitely have merit. This transmission, for the time even, it feels a little bit lethargic. It feels a little bit slow. Even in manual, like you pull it, there it shifts down, right? It's not instant by any means. It's not a modern dual clutch, and I get that. I'm trying to put myself back into the time period, even like 5 years ago that this came out. And it's definitely not something you think about very much. Like, it doesn't take away from the driving experience. I guess that's what I'm trying to get at here. Looking at this car from the outside, frankly, I think it looks great. I think it's the back end, when you look at it from a profile, the back end's like a little bit big. I don't know. I know it's a muscle car. That's how it's supposed to look, and that's what they're going for. But at the same time, there are certain corners and stuff that I wouldn't necessarily have put there. But see, back end stepping out a little bit there. But I mean, if you treat it right and if you treat it with respect, it will absolutely play around with you, and it will not toss you anything you're not expecting, I don't think. Oh my god. So much fun. The back end slides out really progressively too. You get that really awesome crackle on your upshifts, and you're going way too fast in a matter of seconds. It's so much fun. No, it's not like a Lamborghini with a dual clutch. It's not a Huracan. It doesn't have like 600 horsepower or anything like that. It is still less than 500 horsepower until you get up to like the 507 and the Black Series. But even this standard C63 AMG with the performance package, you're getting a lot. This is a meaty car. There's a lot here. You've got practicality, a awesome daily driver. You've got a thrashing V8. You've got really aggressive lines. The hood looks fantastic. Throttle response is great. This car is just awesome in almost every aspect. Now, would I replace my MR2 with it? You know what? No, I wouldn't. To me, it's not worth it to not have a manual transmission in your life, but that's just me. As a car, though, getting in this car, it really does put a smile on your face. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. We put out new videos every single Tuesday and Thursday. Go listen to our podcast every Wednesday on iTunes. You can find all the old episodes and everything like that on our website as well, as long as bonus content, videos, photos, everything like that. If you want to send in questions to the podcast, you can also do that way. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Alright, so traction control is off, and I'm sure we can whip the back end out a little bit here. There we go. God, I love this car.